We continue now at the top of Daf 65a Daf in Mesches Nazir. This is Nazir Daf 65a. The Mishnah continues. Let's say a person finds 3 corpses in a particular area, so the assumption is it's a cemetery. Bodek heimenu ulahalan esrim amo. Therefore, you have to check, you have to inspect that area for 20 amos. Matzah echad besof esrim amos. If you do find one at the end of 20 amos, bodek heimenu ulahalan esrim amos. You got to check another 20 amos to see if there are more graves. Sheraglaim ladavar, because it appears that there is a cemetery over here, and that's why you have to check. She'ilu techila mitzo no loves tfusaso. And the Mishnah notes, let's say that single grave would have been found originally, meaning it would not have been found after there were graves, there were 3 corpses found ahead of it, so then you would have just taken it in the surrounding earth. But now already, when you find this lone grave, after you have found 3 and you see that it's a shchunas kvaros, you see that it's a cemetery, so now we have to be stricter and you have to check 20 amos beyond that area. And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yehuda says, Matzah. So the Mishnah said that he found this corpse. So prat lematzoi. So the Gemara understands that to mean, that means he found it, but not that it was already found. And Meis, it says he found this corpse, prat leharag. That comes to exclude a situation where the body was murdered. It didn't die of natural causes. Mushkav, and then it says in the Mishnah that it's lying there. So prat liyoshev kedarko. That would exclude a case where it's in a sitting, where it's in the form as though it were sitting. If you find the corpse in a sitting position, that's excluded. And prat l'sharosho munach ben yarchosav. And also that excludes a situation where his head, meaning of the corpse, is between his thighs. Tani Ula Bar Chanina taught, mace shechaser, if you have a mace, a dead body, and it's not a whole body, so ein lo tefusa velo shchunas kvaros. There is no halacha of tefusa, of surrounding earth, and there's no halacha of shchunas kvaros. V'chol hani ma'itayim alo amrinon dilma ovid kochavim. And what's the reason in these cases why they are excluded from these halachas? It's because we suspect maybe this body is not a Jewish body, maybe it is the body of an idol worshiper, of a non-Jew. And the Rosh explains, Amar Rav Yehuda says, Hamotze prat lamotze. Again, it says he found the corpse, and that excludes a situation where it was already known. Perush Rashbam, the Rashbam understands this to mean, prat liyadua shim echad mehem yadua ubeis techila. Let's say you have a situation where one of the corpses, it was already known, and then you found 2 for the first time, so then ein lahem shechuna. So then what he means to say is that there's no halach of shechuna. It's not considered a cemetery in that case. It's not a shchunas kvaros. Mace, and then it said in the Mishnah, you find the corpse, prat laharag, but that would exclude a case where the corpse didn't die naturally, but it was killed. She'ein lo tefusa velo shchuna. In such a situation, there's no halacha of having to remove the surrounding earth, and there's also no halacha of shchunas kvaros. It's not considered a cemetery, mishum de kechaser dami, because it's not considered a whole body. V'achi gemira, and that's the tradition that if it's chaser, so then you don't have these halachas. Mushkav prat liyoshev kedarko prat l'sharosho munach ben yirechosav, and then it has to be lying. It can't be in a sitting form. It can't be in the form that is as though it were sitting, and it also cannot be with its head between its thighs. And the point there is the dilma of de kochavim ninu. We suspect maybe it is not Jewish, kevan shelo nikvaru kedin, because it wasn't buried according to the halach of how Jews are buried, and so therefore again in that situation it will also be excluded from the halachos of the Mishnah. And the Gemara continues at the 2 dots. Motza shnayim. Let's say he finds 2 corpses. Rosho shelzeh betzad margalosav shelzeh, v'rosho shelzeh betzad margalosav shelzeh. This one's head is by the other corpse's feet, and vice versa. This one's head is by the other one's feet. So that is not the normal way that Jewish bodies are buried, and so the halacha is ein lahen tefusa. In that case, again, there's no law of the surrounding earth. If you remove those and move them to another area, you don't take the surrounding earth. V'lo shchunas kvaros, and also it doesn't get the status of a cemetery. Matzah shlosha. Let's say he finds 3 corpses. So echad yadua ushnayim tchila. Let's say 1 was really already known, and 2 they're finding for the first time, and they change the girsa here to echad tchila ushnayim yaduim, or the other way around. 1 of them it's the first time, and 2 of them were already known. So in that case, and again they change the girsa yesh lehem tfusa. In that case, there is a din of surrounding earth if you move the bodies. Ve'ein lahem shechunas kvaros, but there is no din. We don't consider it to be like a cemetery. There was an incident where Rabbi Yesheva did an inspection. He found 2 that were already known, but 1 new one. He wanted to declare the area, consider it a cemetery. Amar lo Rabbi Akiva said to him, Kol shegata l'rik yagata, all the work you're doing is for nothing. Lo amru shechunas kvaros ela l'gimlu yaduin o l'shlosha tchila. The halacha of shechunas kvaros only applies if it was 3 that were already known, or if it was 3 that are being discovered for the first time. And the Gemara continues at the 2 dots. The Mishnah said, No tzlon v'es tefusasan. He takes them and he takes their surrounding earth. Hechi dami tefusa. What exactly does it mean, the surrounding earth? Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Yehuda said it's because the pasuk says, "Unisasani mi Mitzrayim." It says, "Take me from Mitzrayim," and we darshan that to mean Tol imi, take with me from the earth of Mitzrayim, and so that's the source for this concept of tefusa. But v'kamashir tefusa, but how much is it? What's considered the surrounding earth? Peirish Rebbe Elazar explains, Notel afar tichoach v'chofer b'vesula gimel etzbos. He takes any surrounding earth that is loose, any surrounding dirt that is loose, and then he digs in the earth that is firm. He digs 3 finger breadths and he removes that amount of earth. And the Gemara continues, Meisvei, we have a question on this from the following brisa. V'kama shir tfusa, it says, what is the measurement of tfusa? Peirush Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok explains, Notel es hakismin v'es haksasus v'zorek es avadoyin. He takes the wood chips and the lumps of earth, and he throws away anything he knows for certain is not part of the mace. Umeniach es hasveikos, but he leaves that which is in doubt. Va'ashar mitzdaref l'rov binyano shel mace, u'l'rov ha'atzamos l'mole tarvid rekev. And the rest of it, that all joins together to count as part of the majority of the structure of the skeleton of the mace, and to the quarter kav of bones, and to the halacha of a ladle full of the dust of the corpse. And Rashi explains, V'zorek es avadoin, he throws away anything that he knows is not part of the mace. Davar shuvadai lo she'enu min ha-mace, if he's certain that it's not part of the mace, shelo yochash lehen misham tumah, that he can throw aside. He has no concern for tumah. Umeiniach es hasveikos, anything that is a doubt, he sets aside. She'mefan l'makam acher, he puts it in a different place. Techoshen lehen misham tumah, you have to be concerned that maybe it's tameh. And Rashi continues, V'ashar, and the rest, devarim she'ein min ha-mace, meaning the items from the mace itself, v'kismin, and the wood chips from the coffin, mitzdarfen l'robin yanosh. They are going to join together, and they will have the status as part of Rov Binyano Shel Mace, meaning the majority of the skeleton of the mace, and also for the quarter kaf of atzamos, of bones, and also for the ladle full of corpse dust. And the idea is that these remains of the mace are only going to have tumas ohel, again, if they have one of these 3 qualifications, Rov Binyano, or Rov atzamos, or Mole Tarvid Rekev. And in any case, the Gemara now still has a contradiction. What exactly is the shir tfusa? And so the Gemara answers, Hu damar ki ay Tana. Rebbe Elazar before, who gave that other shir, he follows the Tana in the following brisa. The Tanya, as we learned in a brisa, v'kama shir tfusa. What is the shir tfusa? What is the shir of the surrounding earth? Amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum ben Azai. Rabbi Yochanan says the name of ben Azai, Notel afer tichoach v'chofer b'vesula shalosh etzbos. Again, he takes the loose earth, the loose dirt, and he also takes any of the firm earth, 3 finger breadths, and that's what he removes. That's considered the amount of tfusa. And the Gemara continues at the 2 dots. The Mishnah said, Bode Keimenu. Again, in a situation of a cemetery, you have to inspect the area, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf 65a Amud Beis.